Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever it is you happen to be listening or watching this. We appreciate you tuning into the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. Hello, my name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as host here this evening. We will go through two of our programs. We will do our sports show, which we call Balls and Brew. Then we'll do our wrestling show, which we call Yeah, We Know. We are one man down this evening. Our guy Chris King will not be here with us this week, but joining me, as he always does, is the executive producer of this podcast. He is the host of the wrestling show, which will come up later. It just keeps getting worse for us, doesn't it, Jimmy Jam? Wrestling, we had to talk about Hulk Hogan this week, and you got your Cubs gear on. Jimmy, talk about Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah, it's really tough for 1989 Jimmy. It's so weird having two of the people that you were sports heroes, if you will, growing up, pass away within a week of each other. But yeah, Ryan Sandberg, who was my all-time favorite baseball player. So many stories I have of just everything. I mean, I was sick, Rod, one weekend when Tom was going to go take me to a baseball card show. So he went and he got me Ryan Sandberg's rookie card, 1983 Topps, number 83. Had this for 20 plus years. It got graded a 3, which is ridiculously bad. But it's one of those things. It's the sentimental value there is amazing. I was fortunate enough to go to his retirement when they retired his number back in 2005. I went to that game. That was awesome. Drove all night and had to be at work at 6:00 the next morning for a facility opening. So that may not have been the best decision. Sandberg's one of those guys, looking at my timeline and looking at Twitter and everything like that, apparently was a wonderful human being and everyone's favorite baseball player, apparently, that I follow. It's amazing legacy he left behind. And, tough week for 1989 Jimmy here.
Also joining us is our football handicapper, a man that I know is a Cubs fan, a man who is overall, other than just being our football expert, just a huge sports fan. Josh Williams, I'm sure you got some thoughts on Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah, man, echo Jimmy's sentiments there. Tough week for the stars of the 80s. I mean, we lost Ozzy, we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk, Rhino. Yeah, man. June 23rd, 1984, the Ryan Sandberg game. 2 home runs off Bruce Sutter. And then we remember him mostly for the 89 season, finally getting the Cubs back to the playoffs. And I think he won he hit the most home runs in 1990. So he won the MVP in 84. But then, just an awesome class act. And 9 Gold Gloves, 10-time All-Star, man, just sad to see him go that early, man. 65 is not that old. So cancer sucks, man.
There's no doubt about that. This was one of those times this week where I was feeling a little nostalgic for baseball, Jimmy. I was feeling a little nostalgic for baseball. Football hadn't started up yet, right? Basketball is long ways away. It's not looking good for my Pacers. It's not looking good for my Celtics, right? And I still know what's going on. I understand that the Chicago Cubs are playing good baseball and that everybody's pretty fired up about the Cubs again. And then hearing this news about Ryan Sandberg, I couldn't help but think that if I was in a different place with baseball, we probably would be spending another 20 minutes on Ryan Sandberg here. But I just happen to not be all that attached to the game of baseball right now. But definitely sad to see Ryan Sandberg go. He was a class act, and that was the biggest takeaway I really do have from this. He was a great baseball player, no doubt, but we just, in the age of the modern day athlete, we're probably not going to see somebody like Sandberg ever again, right? Like a guy that just went about his business with class, wasn't overly flashy, wasn't me. You know what I mean? We're not going to see too many guys like that moving forward. It doesn't seem so. Shout out to the old school guy that Ryan Sandberg was. We are here though to talk about football. We have one division left in the AFC. That is the AFC West, the king of the mountaintops, if you will, sort of, in the NFL. These last couple of years resides in the AFC West. They were in the Super Bowl for the 3rd year in a row last year and lost it. But, Kansas City's kind of boring. So, Williams, why don't we just start with the Chiefs and get them out of the way?
Over 11.5 win total for them. Even money under 11.5 minus 120 on DK. So there's more people that think the Chiefs are going to go under 11.5, which is somewhat interesting. But there may be a reason for that. We'll get to a little bit later. They should have a little bit more up-tempo pace. If healthy, Josh Simmons at offensive tackle, who they got at number 32, should help that O-line tremendously. Rookie offensive tackle from Ohio State, would have been drafted with a top 10 pick had he been healthy at the time of the draft. And by all early reports, KC got an absolute steal with Simmons. He could end up being the best offensive lineman from that class when it's all said and done. And to get that tackle position late in round one is fantastic value for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice could be a huge value in fantasy, especially if the suspension for him comes in the first 4 weeks. Remember, your fantasy team is at its full strength in the first 4 weeks of the year. Everyone's healthy, no bye weeks in the first month. So if you get a guy like Rice, you want him to be suspended in the first 4 weeks and not 4 random weeks later on in the year when your team is more susceptible to buys and injuries. But check this out. Since 2019, the Chiefs are 42-16 in one possession games. That has a lot to do with Mahomes. That's a 72% winning percentage. You think that's good? By the way, last year, their winning percentage in one-score games was 100%. They were 11-0 in one-score games. But they were in those close games to begin with because their offense was not explosive at all. They had some injuries to Rice and Worthy and just a lack of a running game. And more teams are playing that Tampa 2 defense against them. So, Kate, we talked about teams or bettors possibly betting the under win total over the Chiefs. KC has a top 6 most difficult schedule ahead of them in 25, including 7 primetime games, which include Thanksgiving and Christmas. The Chiefs face 10 games versus 2024 playoff teams, including the week 1 Friday night game in Brazil versus the Chargers on YouTube. That's the first ever NFL game broadcasted on YouTube. But you said it, Rod. It's kind of boring. As much as Mahomes is awesome, kind of like with the Ravens, they'll go as far as Lamar will take them. KC will probably go as far as Mahomes will take them, and that's usually to the Super Bowl.
Jimmy Jam, Happy Gilmore 2 star Travis Kelce. What do you think he's got left for the NFL? Because it certainly seems like he's interested in trying to make some movies because he was really going for it in his scenes in Happy Gilmore 2 there. What's he got left for football?
Yeah, after the bear attack, I thought he'd be on the pup list, but apparently he's okay right now, which is fine. Listen, I think Williams is right where the Chiefs are going to go where Mahomes takes them, and I think Kelsey's going to do exactly what he did last year, kind of bide his time throughout the whole season and hopefully do something well in the playoffs. But as Williams said, and again, that's why you do what you do, Williams, the Simmons pick just really ticked me off when they did that in the draft because you knew that was going to happen. He was going to be fine and a tackle for the next decade.
I'm going to do a thing for our guy Chris here because we all know how much Chris loves schedule. And I really do think, Williams, that thing that you pointed out is a big deal, right? Like Kansas City, I think I heard something like they only play like 8 regular Sunday games. You know what I mean? So like they have so many different games where they're going to have to like get into a different rhythm, have a different schedule for when film comes down and when install happens. And you know what I mean? Like that's all behind the scenes football crap that nobody really cares about, but like that stuff can matter. So if Kansas City starts sliding, right? Like you said, Rashee Rice goes down for a suspension when they don't really expect it. Some of these guys who you can't rely on, like Hollywood Brown, who everybody keeps saying, hey, it's great to have Hollywood Brown. I'm like, well, wouldn't it have been great to have Hollywood Brown last year? But he was hurt and could never really take the field. So, it's like it could be tricky there in Kansas City. But someplace that I think it's not going to be tricky, all right, this is a team that I think people should be looking out for in the AFC West. All right, and it's not the team that Williams thinks I'm going to go to. We're going to save them for last. They're going to round it out because I got some real fireworks for that last team. But I think the sneaky good team out in the AFC West is the Denver Broncos. And I think it's because their defense is outstanding. Let's see what the football handicapper thinks about the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this over-under is as low as it is. Over 9.5 minus 105, under 9.5 minus 115. So it's actually slightly juiced to the under here. They do face a little bit tougher schedule this year, but RJ Harvey, talk about rookie running backs, that looks like he'll be a great scat back for Sean Payton, top-notch receiving back, great in space. He's not a good pass protector, though, so I think that's why they signed J.K. Dobbins in the offseason. Dobbins was 4th and pass pro grade at the running back position last season. But yeah, you said it, Rod. Nasty, nasty defense, and it only gets better. That actually might bring down the passing game production from some pieces on the offense if you're thinking about possibly looking at fantasy for the pass catchers for Denver. It's so tough because Sean Payton spreads it out so much. They got Sutton, Vale, they got Mims, Evan Engram now. They drafted this kid, Pat Bryant, and like I said, R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. And what makes it tough is that Sean Payton loves to rotate the personnel. He does a ton of mixing and matching. But when Marvin Mims was on the field last season, the Broncos averaged 6.3 yards per play. Without him, 4.8 yards per play. That may not sound like much, but that's a difference of being the second best per play offense in the league down to the 29th best offense in the league. And that's just with Mims on the field. That's not even when Mims gets the ball. So at the very worst, he acts as surprisingly, probably to casual fans, he acts as a decoy on what is a more intricate offense under Sean Payton. And the Broncos were 1-6 in one-score games last year. We talked about the Chiefs being 11-0 one-score games. The Broncos were 1-6 in one-score games. We know that those numbers can regress positively from year to year, especially when you have as good a play caller as they do in Payton. Some more pros for Denver. They only play 7 true road games because they get the Jets in London. They played 6 games last year at a rest disadvantage. That number gets cut in half this year down to 3. And Sean Payton's offenses with the Saints had 10 top 6 running back seasons in fantasy points. Nobody targets running backs out of the backfield more than Sean Payton's offenses. West Coast influences, a lot of inside zone, a lot of play action. So it could be a decent season for that rookie R.J. Harvey. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm probably underselling the defense, but the defense is going to be awesome this year. If you have your fantasy team set with the running back and wide receivers and quarterbacks, what you think, I wouldn't mind you at all taking the first defense off the board with Denver because I think they're going to be nasty playing that elevation all year.
Jimmy, you know me, whether right or wrong, I tend to focus on the quarterbacks like so many of the casual NFL fans, which I would classify myself as, even though I help host a football podcast from week to week. I'm more of a casual fan. I don't dive into the numbers as deep as Chris or Williams do.
I was going to say kind of like Chris in wrestling, just casual. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I did not hear the name Bo Nix in there. I heard the name Sean Payton in there an awful lot and everybody else that's on offense. What am I to think of Bo Nix, Jimmy?
He's smart, and he's going to run the offense exactly how it needs to be run. And that's really all you need to know about Bo Nix. And that's why Williams didn't really focus on him, because I think we know what we've got in him. He's not going to throw for 6,000 yards, and he's not going to throw 35 interceptions. He's going to be a very solid, manageable, 15th, 16th round backup quarterback in fantasy, as Williams would say. But really, that's what you're going to get from him. And it's going to really be on the defense to make those plays that get them over the top and maybe get them more of those wins in the one-score games.
I'm all in on the defense. I'm all in on Sean Payton. I'm a little disappointed that Williams brought up Harvey as early as he did in his Broncos talk, because I was hoping that he would not have to go for $45 in our football league the way that rookies always have to at this point. But now Williams just talked him up. So congratulations, PJ Harvey will be the next overpriced rookie in our fantasy league, but nobody cares about that. What I am worried about, though, Williams, is that we've got more tape on Nix. Right, we got more defensive coordinators now. They're going to be coming in and they're going to say, okay, I know, I've seen Sean. I know what he's going to do here, right? Clearly, they're not going to be able to stop him dead, but I just worry, let's say the Broncos running game isn't as good as we hope it to be, and let's say the tape gets found out on Nix a little bit. Do you still think this team is going to score enough points to contend? That's my worry for them.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest question on Denver. They've upgraded everywhere, and basically the only question mark on this team is at quarterback. And I kind of relate it to when McVay took Goff to the Super Bowl. He kind of managed that team. When Shanahan took Jimmy G to the Super Bowl, he kind of managed that team. And then when Shanahan again took Purdy to the Super Bowl, that's, I think, what Sean Payton can do for Bo Nix. I think he's going to try to get the easiest game plan for him. But you're right. When he was pressured last year, he was not that great. When he was kept clean, he was fantastic. So that's when Sean Payton runs the play action. inside zones. I mean, this defense is going to help Bo Nix out. This running game is going to help Bo Nix out. And it would be really fascinating if somehow somebody were to take the Chiefs off the top pedestal in this division, because then we talk about the Chiefs being a 5 seed. They would probably get the 1 seed in the second round of the playoffs. I know I'm jumping way ahead, but that messes up the whole playoff AFC. I would love to see somebody get. I don't think anybody can overtake the Bills in the AFC East or the Ravens in the AFC North. I think there could be 1 or 2 teams that could possibly jump the Chiefs in the AFC West, but that I may be a year or 2 ahead of myself. I'm not sure, but it would just be interesting to see somebody else get that division win other than the Chiefs.
Williams spinning it forward. I absolutely love to see that. Our guy who's usually right in the numbers and wants to talk about rights in front of him, he's getting a little ahead of himself. That's always fun. You can see the twinkle in his eyes if you're checking us out on YouTube. And real quick out there, little public service announcement. Hi, Rod here. I appreciate all of you folks that are checking in on our reels on YouTube, or you're catching it on Facebook or wherever you might be grabbing it. But just do me a huge favor. Make sure you jump over and subscribe and follow and check in on the full episodes from time to time. We love you Reels watchers, but we need a few more followers and subscribers on the main page. Thank you. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, the AFC West, this just hits me while we were talking about those first 2 teams. This is the division of the coach, baby. We got Andy Reid. We got Sean Payton. We got Jim Harbaugh, and we got Pete Carroll. This is the division of the big-time coach. And honestly, Williams, I wonder what you think of this angle. The big-time coach in San Diego might be getting in the way. It seems like Jim Harbaugh wants to play Michigan football in San Diego. And if I'm not mistaken, he has a pretty good quarterback. What's the khaki wearer doing out there in San Diego, which is not San Diego anymore. It's Los Angeles.
Yeah, contrary to what Chris believes, he does have a good quarterback. And the Chargers over 9.5 minus 115. Under 9.5 minus 105 on DK, so pretty similar there. You want to talk about rookie running backs in this division, man. I really love the rookie running back the Chargers got in the draft from North Carolina, Omarion Hampton. He had over 1,500 rushing yards and 15 rushing touchdowns in 2023. He also had over 2,000 scrimmage yards and 17 touchdowns last year. He has the 83% dominator rating. Hampton had 4.2 yards after contact in 2023, 90th percentile freak score. No, I did not make that stat up. And how about this? 96th percentile explosion score. We're talking freak scores and explosion rates. Jimmy may have to put an NC-17 rating on this pod here. Pair him up with free agent addition Najee Harris if he didn't shoot his eye out on the 4th of July. Offense is going to be run heavy again behind Harbaugh, like Rod said. But they do have an awesome possession receiver, Ladd McConkey. And I maybe don't just call him a possession receiver, because he had a monster playoff game for them last year against Houston. Really good rookie season at wide receiver for the Chargers.
I think he actually had his name changed. I think his name has actually been legally changed to Ladd. Don't call me a possession receiver, McConkey. I'm pretty sure it's actually a name.
That's a long name on cursive day.
It's going to be tough for some of the lesser known NFL broadcasters, but hey, it's the deal.
They did sign Big Mike Williams to come back in free agency, but then just this month he decided to call it a career and retire. So
wait a minute, let's go there real quick. Because I just was reminded the other day that Derek Carr retired. See, it's got me all broken up. Why do these guys retire? Like, I know football money's not guaranteed, but like, can't you like stick around on the roster injured and still get paid some sort of money? The minute you retire, you're not getting paid anything. Why are these guys retiring?
Yeah, I feel like some of them don't want to do the training camp thing. That's just what we saw with Favre. I mean, just he really did not want to do the training camp thing for like 4 years in a row. But Mike Williams has battled some injuries too, and so he probably thought it was time to hang him up. But
yeah, but Big Mike Williams is never the answer to any question. So the Chargers are certainly not going to hinge on him. But I see what you're saying. They need some more pass catchers. Perhaps the reason that Harbaugh wants them all to drink milk and run the football. So I think San Diego is going to, like, for me, they're not going to be bad. I don't see a Harbaugh team as ever being bad, Jimmy, right? Isn't that kind of the way you see Harbaugh? Like, his teams are just never going to be bad. They're going to get sick of him at some point, and maybe they're not going to win at all, but they're never going to be bad.
Rod, I can't quit the Chargers. I can never quit the Chargers.
Oh,
I love the Chargers. I love Justin Herbert. I know they don't want me to love them. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to be really good this year. They are going to be, dare I say, well, we'll save that for later, but they're going to be very, very good this year, I think. I think they're going to be great.
I appreciate what you're doing here, Jim, where you're refusing to make your actual team prediction because you don't want us to lose any listeners for the preseason predictions. You want to just like hit them with it right quick on the beginning of the season. You want to just sneak it by them like, hey, maybe nobody will notice that I became a fan of their team and now they're doomed for failure. So that's a smart move by you, Jimmy Jam.
It is not
right,
good if I like you. Sorry, go ahead.
We have to make sure to reiterate that. We get new listeners from time to time, Jim. That's good. We got to make sure to reiterate to them that you do not want to be picked by Jimmy. It's not really, it doesn't have a good track record. You can look back in the archives of whatever podcast platform you're listening on, because as I talked to you a minute ago before, you just liked and followed us. So it'll be easy to find those old episodes. One team left, and Jimmy just got a little bit spicy about Los Angeles Chargers. I'm spicy about this team, baby. Bright Light City, gonna set my soul on fire. We got Gino. I was a Gino supporter years back. We got evidence in our text message thread of me loving Gino. I've been a Pete Carroll guy since day one. And also Tom Brady. Who's been a bigger Tom Brady guy than me? I've loved Tom Brady for years upon years. Come on, Raiders. Williams, what do you got?
Yeah, over 6.5 minus 145, under 6.5 plus 120 on DK. So a lot of people think they're going to go over that win total. And Pete Carroll is back. And guess who else is back? Chip Kelly is back. I'm intrigued by that pairing. It seems so odd. The Ohio State offense was much more deliberate, though, than the old Oregon Ducks offenses of Kelly's past. I referenced Ohio State because that's Chip Kelly was the OC Ohio State last year. This Raiders offense is projected to be the 27th highest scoring offense, though. So if that's correct, then something has to give, because the Raiders have two guys that are being drafted fantasy-wise, top 25 overall, Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. And if you're in a tight end premium league, your draft mates are more than likely losing their minds with the thought of possibly drafting Bowers. I've seen him go as high as top 5 in non-superflex tight end premium leagues. So we'll get to an interesting stat that may support that later on. The random net rest that schedule makers are oblivious to was not kind to Vegas this year, though. Guys, they have 6 games where their opponent has more than a week to prep for them. 6 games to get ready for the Raiders. They only have 1 game all year.
Not worried. You're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. These guys are literally going to be home base in a place where they could stay out all night. These guys are going to be out all night partying and still up and going at it, Williams. I'm not worried about this rest nonsense.
That could be an interesting angle there with the Vegas road team coming in. But they only have 1 game all year where they have a net rest advantage, and that comes late in the year on the road in a 1 o'clock Eastern game. So 10 a.m. body clock for them. Shout out Chris. And oh, by the way, it's against the defending Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. So no favors there. The Raiders have a negative 19-day net rest disadvantage overall in the season. That's pretty horrific. I'll tell you what's more horrific. Raiders last year under Antonio Pierce, 32nd in offensive EPA, 32nd in success rate, 30th in explosive plays. Just wondering, is that good? I don't know. One more con for the Raiders. PFF has them ranked
so anti-Antonio Pierce last year.
Yes.
Let Antonio Pierce have it so often last year. Like you had to almost shed a tear when he wasn't back so that you didn't have fodder for every week podcast.
I know. One more con for the Raiders, though. PFF has them ranked as the worst secondary in all of football. You can't like that route if you're going to back them. The good, though, for the Raiders here, this is where it gets interesting. The Raiders quarterbacks.
That's good. So I was going to say, I don't like anything that you've said to me so far if I want to back the Raiders. So please tell me the good. I'm all ears.
Yeah, this gets interesting. Raiders quarterbacks last year ranked 26th in accuracy overall. They bring in your boy, Geno Smith. Get this, Geno in overall accuracy ratings the last 4 years. 2nd, 1st, 1st, and 1st. I don't think many casual fans would guess that. And like we were talking about Brock Bowers earlier, he had a ridiculous rookie season in 24, but it could have been even better. Check this out. Bowers ranked 29th out of 36th in tight end accuracy last year because of how bad the quarterbacks were. for tight end targets. Wide receiver.
Hey, take it easy. That was Gardner. Take it easy.
Wide receiver Jacoby Myers ranked 63rd out of 103 in wide receiver accuracy rate for wide receiver targets. So those two guys could get a huge bump. Also, Seattle's offensive line last year that Geno played behind ranked near or at the very bottom of pressure rate allowed and no blitz pressure rate allowed, offensive false starts, and offensive holding. So Seattle line was horrific last year. The Raiders' offensive line at least ranked 17th in pass block win rate and 20th in pressure rate allowed. So those stats are in favor of Bowers and Myers having even better seasons than what they did last season. And they do have 12 dome games this year. Geno, that's a positive for Geno because his numbers the last 3 years are much better when he's playing inside. So it's funny, guys. I went into the Raiders capsule pretty down on them, but I'm actually kind of intrigued by this Chip Kelly calling plays under Pete Carroll. And you have Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty at your disposal. How creative will Carroll let Chip Kelly be is the question.
All right, Jimmy Jam. So I made the joke about PJ Harvey, but in all seriousness, Ashton Genty's going for like $60 to $65 in our draft, is he not? I mean, goodness gracious with this guy.
Yeah, he's going to go for a lot, and I think they're going to use him just like William said. I really like the Raiders a lot this year. I think they're going to win double the games they won last year. That's how good I think they're going to be.
It's kind of a low bar with how many they won last year, but I like it sounded like a hot take, Jimmy. That was smart podcasting right there out of you. All right, Williams, any other nuggets about the overall AFC West? Any other fantasy players you want to shout out? You got some more stuff on the clipboard there to empty? Amazing that we got through this episode a little quicker without some old man weighing us down.
I think this is going to be a super fun young running back division for fantasy and for real life too. So if you come out of your draft with one of those guys, I think you feel pretty good about your team moving forward.
You feel pretty good about your team moving forward if you get one of the running backs drafted in the first round. Smart stuff out of Williams right there. Actually, one of those running backs, Harvey probably didn't go in the first round, did he?
No.
He was probably like a third rounder. Was Hampton even in the first round? Don't listen to me. Williams is a football expert. I'm not. See, I'm not right there. I just proved it right there. That's why Williams does the numbers, and I'm the one that makes the Elvis Presley references at the beginning of the Las Vegas Raiders that probably 4 people got. That's my role here on the show.
If you miss on Genty early, you can probably get Hampton or Harvey later on in your draft. So don't fret.
All right, well, I like
Don't
that.
fret.
We have a keeper league. Ours is a little different that way. So like, there's always more of a premium on like new dudes coming into the draft that can be gotten a hold of. So that's one of those things that happens in our league. Maybe other leagues out there have a similar problem. We are down a man for wrestling, but that's all right. Jimmy and I are going to give the tag team match for the century. Talking about SummerSlam coming up here in just a second. Why we do, yeah, we know. But Williams, you're going to have to do what Chris normally does to close the show out. Yeah, look at you. You didn't know you were going to have to close the show, did you?
Hey, we got NFL on Thursday, Hall of Fame game, Chargers versus Lions. And we might go Chris's division next week, NFC East. So hopefully Chris will be back next week. But until then, goodbye, Internet.
That's the way, Williams.
Look at you. I'm not even going to do it yet, man. Good job. Holy cow. He didn't even have that written down, Rod. That's the best part about Williams right now. He didn't even have it written down.
The one time I really needed him to listen to me and not no-sell me, and he came through. Love Williams.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, we'll see you.
Yep. Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. In the ring with Jimmy and Rod. A little old school today, Rod. And we need to start with a little old school with Hulk Hogan got his 10-bell salute on SmackDown. And, I thought they did a terrific job with the video package. It really kind of got me in the feels a little bit, didn't it?
Oh, listen, it was a little dusty down here in the Morganino studios where I was watching Monday Night Raw last night for sure. It was a little dusty up there on stage for Eric Bischoff. It was nice to see him up there on stage, So I just, as this is going on, man, It's really got me thinking about it a lot, Jim. It's really got me thinking about it a lot, man. It's like part of childhood being dead. It's thinking a little bit about trying to be a better person to hopefully not have folks being quick to say bad things about you when you go. That's been on my mind because of this whole Hogan situation. What is respectful? What's not respectful? Is important to point out is it important to point out a person's shortcomings, or can you mourn them for a little while before we get there? All of these things have been churned up and chopped over so many times in the Hogan thing that I was happy to see the WWE push it all to the side and give Hogan the rousing tribute that he deserved.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Cody Rhodes, actually, my boy, not necessarily yours, did a really good job with his talk as well. How there's some mixed feelings, but obviously, as an entertainer, he was everything to so many people throughout the years. So I thought that was very well done.
Yeah, pointing out the entertainer to people, right? That's one of those unassailable things, right? You can disagree with Hulk Hogan's politics. You can be severely disappointed that he has serious racist beliefs. You can be seriously bummed out that he's not someone that's nice to work with. But as far as his entertainment value on television, it's unassailable.
It is. Speaking about entertainment value, we've got about, if you count the pre-shows, we have about, 15 hours worth of wrestling on Saturday and Sunday because it is SummerSlam weekend already. Cannot believe how fast the summer has gone, and it is the biggest party of the summer. Rob, we have our first 2-day SummerSlam. Do you think we have enough?
I was a little skeptical a few weeks back, so I appreciate you challenging me. I think we do have a good enough card. I think we do have 2 good nights with enough matches that I'm excited about. But I mean, you alluded to it there. 3-hour pre-shows on both nights, and thank goodness, because we are going to get a hard-hitting sit-down with Jelly Roll. I mean, come on, Jimmy. This is the kind of stuff we need to have a 3-hour pre-show for.
Yeah, I really don't care about any of that. I do think it's kind of interesting how Drew McIntyre might not be here because of some visa issues. He goes back and forth to Europe all the time, and now apparently he can't get back. That's not a good thing, is it, Rod?
No, it doesn't seem like it, but thankfully we have a stable leader here in the United States who will probably be more than happy to jump in and clear up a international sticky situation, right?
And with that, you've been listening. Okay, let's go to let's hit SummerSlam Saturday night. We have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, the final battle. Karrion Kross has got to win this, right?
That's exactly why he's not going to win this, right? Because you're absolutely right that he needs to win this. But I mean, I just think you and I are both smart enough to understand that. What are we going to do with Karrion Kross winning it, right? Does he then just go pick out somebody else that he wants to prove as a liar? I think Triple H thinks to himself that he can do that without winning, right? And then Sammy vanquishes the foe and continues the momentum they seem to keep Sammy on right now. So as much as I want Karrion Kross to win, as excited as I am that Karrion Kross is getting a match at SummerSlam and that he's been featured on Raw frequently here leading up to it, right? Like that's big time for our guy compared to where he was. So we got to take what's given to us. But no, I don't think he's going to win. I want him desperately to win, to quote our guy Chris, but I don't think he's going to.
See, I think he will win. I think he's going to win on this one because the only way I see Sammy is if Sammy turns heel and just, beats the crap out of and I don't think that's going to happen on night 1. Okay. So I think Karrion Kross wins his matchup.
Okay, so the predictions then. You think Karrion Kross is going to win this matchup? Throw somebody out right now that he then picks out next to try to label a liar. Who's the next Karrion Kross victim then if he wins?
Oh, putting me on the spot. I love it. Who's a liar? Who's a liar? AJ Styles is a liar. How about that?
Ooh, okay. So AJ wins the Intercontinental belt and Karrion Kross gets a little taste of that. Wow.
Yeah.
I love where you're going there, Jimmy.
I'm thinking we're going to see something along those lines. Why not?
I love that. I'm excited now. Let's go.
The ending of last night's show saw Braun Breaker standing over, last night's show, Raw, whenever that was. Braun Breaker is a massive leader of the faction. Breaker, Reed against Uso and Reigns. Who you got?
Just lots of interesting strands in Rod's head right now here, Jimmy, right? Like, I do. I'm going to just come out right here. I'm looking at the camera. I believe Seth Rollins is really hurt. Okay.
Okay.
But, however, if there was an
Heretofore.
organization that was trying to deke us and trick us, it would be the WWE, right? And the kind of thing that they would do is, oh no, we've moved Seth completely to the side. Braun's now, he's the leader. I've got the plan. This is my league. This is my ring. This is my mat. This is my cameraman, right? Cribbing Roman Reigns, who's basically said similar things before in the past. So, and then Seth comes back, and so but Seth is probably really, really hurt. So I'm getting ahead of myself right there. I'm pulling a Josh Williams and getting ahead of myself there. Roman having somebody lord over them, and Roman getting a little bit of an ass kicking doesn't happen to the tribal chief very often. So that alone was cool for Bronson and Braun. But I think main event Jay and Roman got to win this match, right? Like you can't have Braun and Bronson beating two of your biggest stars in the company. Like you just can't. As much as they want those guys to get over, they're not going to do that to them at SummerSlam.
Superman punch, and then a splash off the top. Uso gets the pin, or do we do super kick into a Superman punch on Bronson Reed? I think that might be where we go. Super kick into a Superman punch. Roman Reigns pins Bronson Reed for the win.
So you don't think Roman's going to be trying to pull a spear of his own to try to, I actually can do the spear. You don't think Roman's going to be trying to throw a spear in there?
Got to say spear versus spear for your one-on-one match.
See, look at you. This is why you're the expert, Jimmy.
Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus The Miz and Logan Paul. I don't know, whoever it's going to be. Hey, maybe it's Joe Hendry. Awesome. Hey, you know what? Maybe it's Joe Hendry. We had Joe Hendry at Rumble. We had Joe Hendry at WrestleMania, and he can do another job here at SummerSlam. I believe. I know you believe as well.
I believe. Let's just assume that things get figured out with Drew. We're recording this on a Tuesday. We have a few days yet for this thing to get figured out. Let's just assume a thing happens with Drew. The celebrity of it all is weird for me, Jim, right? Because I don't think that they want to bring Jelly Roll in to like lose a match, right? That's not typically what they do with celebrities. But I really think the interesting win here is Logan and Drew. So I'm interested for your thoughts, actually.
Yeah, I think Logan and Drew win somehow. And it might be where Drew McIntyre takes Jelly Roll's face off with the Claymore, and they pin Jelly Roll there. I think Jelly Roll would take the pin. It might be the first ever guest that loses, but it does kind of make a little bit more sense to get that McIntyre and Paul heel, not faction because they're just here because they hate Jelly Roll, but just continue to build them up because we love McIntyre. We are pro McIntyre. Chris doesn't have internet, so he will never ever watch this, and he doesn't know what YouTube is. We are fans of Drew McIntyre. Love the guy, right? He's a heel, no question. But I want to see him go to the next step. So I think I've got Drew and Logan here.
And his appearance on Impulsive, right? I'm not necessarily a regular viewer of Impulsive, but like, Drew will let it fly, man. Like, that's the other thing that's great about Drew. Drew will let it fly, right? He's not going to mince words. Like, maybe he's in kayfabe. I don't know. Possible. Most guys in the WWE are full of bullshit, but I dig it. I dig the presentation. I dig the social media. I dig the fact that he's making fun of guys for not being cut and chiseled out of stone the way that he is. You know what I mean? So I like all of it. I like Logan Paul saying, these usurpers who are coming into our business, right? Like, the sarcasm dripping off of that is great. So I'm having trouble seeing a celebrity go down. So I'm going to be on the other side of you, Jimmy. And I'm going to say that somehow the Viper RKO somebody out of nowhere and they win.
Okay. In a match that needs to go about 4 minutes, and it just does. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. I think this might be best going on first. And I'll tell you why. I don't think it's going to, but I think it might be best going on first because the fans will be really into it. I think both of them are going to have really cool entrances. I think Jade Cargill has to come out on the championship end of this. Tiffany Stratton, for whatever it is, it's not working for me right now. Let's repackage her, do something else, and have Jade Cargill take the belt and go from there. I just, for the record, think the Reigns and Uso against Breaker and Reed will be first. But I don't know. I'm interested to see your thoughts on here. You're all about Tiffy time.
Yeah, I'm all about Tiffy time. I think you said it there, right? Like Tiffy has the charisma in her. She looks like $1 million. She's athletic as all get out. She was a trained gymnast, so she should be apt to coaching, right? So like it's all there. But where we're at right now isn't there. So we've got to dial her back. We got to have her lose, which then means she can take a couple of weeks off from TV because that's essentially what people do when they lose big belts, right? They either
Mm-hmm.
come right back the next night to get a rematch, or they go away for a couple weeks and then they make a rousing return. She can be repackaged there. But I think it's also twofold, Jim. And you mentioned it a little bit with Jade, but like she's got to win here and now. This is it, right? Like we had the injury setback, you know what I mean? And we had the build where we maybe tried to get her up there too fast. And then we said, no. Bring in Bianca and Naomi to cover her a little bit. But like, this is it. She's got the big build. She looks like $1,000 million damn dollars. I mean, goodness gracious. So this has got to be it. Jade's got to win. And you were absolutely right. If this match wears on, it's not good for either of them.
Rod, when we're done with this Saturday card, I'm going to ask you which performer needs to step it up on the next level to really on this show so they can continue their momentum going forward. I do want to know that from you. But we have Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Now, if you say this 8 months ago, it's like, whatever. I am really looking forward to this match. Alexa and Charlotte have terrific chemistry together. I think Raquel has stepped up a lot recently, speaking about stepping up. Roxanne Perez is extremely solid. Love all four of these women, and it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss getting those WWE Women's Tag Team Championship because they need to, Rod. They've got to give them the belts.
I think you're absolutely right about that. I think it's also another twofold thing there, too. I think we have to walk out of SummerSlam with the Judgment Day being completely cleaned out. And that may, unfortunately, tip my hand in a few other matches that are happening on the weekend. But
sure,
I think we need to leave SummerSlam with the Judgment Day not clinging belts together in their clubhouse anymore, not talking about polishing the belts up and passing them out to one another and worrying about grabbing them from the ring after they dastardly snuck up behind somebody. We need the belts off of the Judgment Day. So I lost my train of thought. What match were we on before I went on my Judgment Day rant there?
Well, Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You're good.
Yes. It's got to be Charlotte and Alexa because it's when you have lightning in a bottle and you catch something and the fans seem to be buying it, you got to keep running with that. And so right now, fans are buying this Charlotte thing with Alexa. They're doing fun little videos that can pop up on social media, which is great because Charlotte's social media profile, other than before now, was her just in some sort of a bikini or her yelling at somebody. That was basically all her social media was at all times. And now there's some skits with her and Alexa up there. And it's good for Alexa as well because it gives her something to do where we're not all just like, where's the weird little thing? Where's the blip in the screen that means the Wyatt Six are going to come swallow her back up? So I like it. And Raquel, I see you. You might be getting the answer of the person who needs to step up the most and could walk herself into something big here. But I see you. You might get that answer. Stay tuned.
And finally, Gunther versus CM Punk for the WWE World Championship. There are two ways to go with this. The really cool ending is CM Punk beating Gunther for the championship, and then Burn It Down happens, and we have Seth Rollins screwing over CM Punk for the WWE World Championship, and that leads to a main event of night one of WrestleMania. I know that's a long way away right now, but the place would come unglued if that happens. I'm going to predict that Gunther wins and continues on. Wow. Maybe. I don't know. I might rethink that now that I think. No, Gunther's going to win. Yeah.
The pain in your eyes and your voice when you had to predict that CM Punk was losing this match. Let me ask you this, Jimmy. More heat or just absolute anger if Seth Rollins does exactly what you say, but he comes down with crutches and a cast to do
it? Yeah, there's a meme where Kevin Nash was hurt and in a wheelchair and his leg was up and he just takes the blanket off and walks out. That right there would be the thing to do for Rollins.
That would be
I don't know.
awesome,
what do you think? I would love it to happen.
What you really want, Jimmy, is you want a camera on me watching SummerSlam, because if Burn It Down does hit, that would be a video that would be all over our socials that people would love, because I would be jumping out of my chair like I was back in the day when Real American would hit if Burn It Down hits at SummerSlam to screw CM Punk out of the belt. I'm going against you here. I think the fact that we have really played up out of Michael Cole recently when Gunther comes to the ring, that 80% of the time Gunther has been, that's a terrible Michael Cole. Gunther has been in the WWE. He has a belt. I think that means something. I think we got to give a belt to Punk. Like, he's been around for a long time again, Jimmy. I mean, it's like Bray Wyatt was still around when CM Punk came back. And I don't mean that in a bad way to Bray Wyatt. I'm just saying, like, Bray Wyatt was still around when CM Punk came back. So, or was he not? Or was it the Wyatt 6 that was premiering on the same time?
I think it was the Wyatt 6.
Okay. All right. So he already was gone. But yeah, so the Wyatt 6 premiered. So there we go. So I believe the Wyatt 6 premiered when CM Punk first came back. So it's time for CM Punk to do something other than come out to the crowd chanting and him call himself the best in the world. It's time for him to have some damn gold around his waist. And I'm so happy that I'm doing this without Chris here to look at me disappointedly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I can't see it. I don't like CM Punk. I like Gunther. I want Gunther to win. That's my Chris.
Yep. That was like your Chris if he smoked even more cigarettes than he actually smokes, is what you were just doing right there.
Valid. I think Karrion Kross needs to step up. You've got to have a solid match against Sami Zayn. Your last one wasn't. I think it's time. You want your contract. You want to be a star. Let's do it. Karrion Kross needs to step up on night one, Rod.
My answer is Jade Cargill.
Okay.
Jade, do you want the keys to the castle? Do you want to be set up in matches versus Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley and have people actually buy it and have you maybe consider getting main event type booking for those matches? Then actually show people that you've been putting in the time in the Performance Center and you can route a match together. Because we know you're strong as hell. We know that you can lift these women up and throw them directions that others can't. So make that to your advantage and give us a great match against Tiffany. Squash her, look like $1 million damn dollars, come out of the ring with gold, and it's time for the Jade Cargill rocket ship.
See, the Jade Cargill match right now is her getting beat up and then getting the win out of nowhere. It would be nice to flip that and have her just trounce Tiffany. But we'll see what happens on that. Night one, night two. Dude, we have a TLC match with like 38 teams in it, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing event. We talked about the ladder match after WrestleMania. That could have been around WrestleMania, sorry. That could have been match of the year. This is another one, Rod, where we have the Wyatt Six, Andrade and Rey Fenix, the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, and DIY all going for those titles. Who you got? I have no idea.
Well, let's break this down a little bit here first. All right. How many spots with the managers / valets are we going to see? Because I don't know if you noticed, but we randomly stuck BFAB back with the Street Profits again here recently. And I'm not anti-BFAB, but that kind of came out of nowhere. And my only thought was, okay, we recently put Candice back with DIY, right?
Yeah.
And we have Nikki, who's there with the Wyatt Six, right? So now we at least have 3 valet manager types who can be around in the ring. So there's probably going to be a spot with them. And my second question is, Jimmy, how many minutes are they going to give these guys to work?
Well, it's a 3-hour show, right? And there's 6 matches. I'd say they're going to get 32 minutes. I think they're going to get a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right too, because they just have so many people.
They have to
get spots off. Yeah.
I mean, entrances alone.
Let's start here. Who has 0 chance of winning this match? Who has 0 chance of winning this match for Axiom?
See, I think they might win the match.
Whoa. I'm shocked by that, really. I mean, they're not bad. Don't get me wrong. Those guys can wrestle, but I just don't know that there's enough of anything for them right now to warrant getting that spot.
Yeah, I think the Wyatt Six, actually. Even though they're the champs and they should just have everyone come out and beat everybody up. But I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they have a chance.
All right. Okay, so those are our 2. So we've each got 2 different answers for down to the lowest at the bottom. Who's your next for lowest at the bottom then?
Motor City Machine Guns aren't going to win.
Yeah, most definitely. Motor City Machine Guns are definitely not going to win this. All right, so then we start going to who can win this.
Andrade and Rey can win it.
Yeah. That's who I was going to go with, Jimmy. I was
Yeah.
going to say the Street Profits, I think, are going to be the team who it's going to look like it's going to win.
Yeah.
Right? Because they just had the belts and like everybody was happy for them to have the belts, and the tag team belts felt a little bit elevated when they got it. So I think the Street Profits are going to be involved in it, but I think it is going to be Andrade and Rey Fenix. I really do, because that's another way we can bring heat to this AAA revolution that's coming into WWE, if you will, right? And the fact that they want to do all of these crossover events, probably, right? If you've got two guys in Andrade and Phoenix who can wrestle in that world but carry the WWE championship belts to there, that's big business.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going to go. DIY is they're my boys.
Wouldn't
That's
it be
all I got to
awesome?
say.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
Yeah. That's going to be a terrific matchup. The next match that we talked about, we already I think both of us already have our picks here with Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship match. Let's go with AJ Styles. Let's get that belt on him. Although Dominic Mysterio made an appearance at AAA and the roof came off the building, apparently, Rod, he is the number one. He is Hulk Hogan-esque, if you will, now.
I did see that. I saw where he ripped off the classic black covering his face up move in the WWE, right? And he had the black hoodie on, and then everybody absolutely went berserk. But then again, Jimmy, they also cheered the hell out of Ludwig Kaiser as El Grande Americano singing in Spanish. So, you know,
I did not think that was going to happen. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they totally thought he was just going to get booed out of the building, and everybody bought it. So, you know, you never know what the fans are going to do. But I think AJ Styles has done great work here these last couple of weeks with Dominic Mysterio. I echo your sentiments that Dominic Mysterio is great. I give you and Chris some guff sometimes about how great you guys say Dominic Mysterio is, but I definitely see the talent. I definitely see the charisma. It's clearly in his blood. He grew up in it, right? Who's going to know it better than Dom? But I think you got to get the belt on AJ here. I just think you can do so many more things with it. And then, like you said, carrying AJ, I love that.
You know, Dominic's 28 years old. He's got a long time. Who would have thought? I love it. Go Dom. Go Dom. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match for the U.S. Championship. Who you got, Rod?
I think it's too obvious to say that the werewolf wins it here just because he's hot and over with the fans. I think Solo's doing exceptional work. I think it's one of those spots where it's like, no, don't get me wrong here, people. All right, I'm not equating him to Nia Jax, but I'm saying it's almost a Nia Jax spot where like he's in a tough storyline spot, right? He's doing absolute great work, but nobody is ever going to cheer for him. You know what I mean? He's better than Nia Jax is, but the spot they always put Nia Jax in, there's no way anybody was ever going to cheer for her, and that's really where Solo's at right now. And I am interested to see him keep playing this heel gimmick, because I think when we want him to, Solo Sikoa can turn on a dime and become the funniest guy in the WWE, and he can go for last. So I'm excited for that. Give me Solo.
Yeah, I think Solo's going to win. I think Tua Tagovailoa and the Hikuleo or whatever, I can't remember what they're calling him now. I think they're going to come in. I think
Usu Koromoa, I believe
yes,
somehow. I believe
agreed. I think Jimmy Uso will be. Everybody's going to be involved because it's a steel cage match, Rod. No one can get in or out. It's a steel cage.
Right.
Nobody can get in or out unless it's a steel cage, and everyone can do that because that's what always happens in WWE steel cage matches.
What's your favorite steel cage spot of all time?
It's
put you on the spot.
It's Hogan Orndorff on Saturday Night's Main Event. The double foot. That was terrific. How about you?
For me, it's a lot different than Hogan Orndorff Saturday Night's Main Event double foot. For me, it's Miz versus Dexter Lumis. And then actually it's Miz versus, I can't remember who he was fighting.
Yeah.
Dexter Lumis was involved. Dexter Lumis just pops his head out from underneath the ring as the Miz is going to climb out of the cage to win. And the Miz is so scared by the fact that Dexter Lumis is down on the ground and
is 20 feet away
with his weird eyes, that the Miz goes back into the steel cage and ends up losing the match. My favorite steel cage spot of all time. Shout out Dexter Lumis.
Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship. No count out, no DQ. If Valkyria loses, she cannot challenge us for the title again. Does Bayley come back and Bayley cause Lyra the championship?
Something's got to be happening with Bayley,
Something?
right? Because because the only thing I could see, and I texted this to you immediately after I saw it on Raw, I was like, are we getting Bailey with the bum ass Corbin storyline? Like, is she just going to start talking about she's down on her luck? And next thing you know, she's going to be, oh man, she's going to be coming in clothes that are dirty and everybody's going to be calling her stinky and stuff the way they were with bum ass Corbin. Are we going there? And you were like, no, we're probably not going there. So, yeah,
Yes.
Bailey being involved in this match probably makes a little bit more sense because I see it in Lyra Valkyria as well, but like it's not fully there either right now. So Bailey needs
Let's have Becky win. Bailey will calls her the championship, and then go from there. I don't like Lyra winning here.
No, because I want to see Bailey and Becky going at it, right? Maybe those two lead teams versus each other at Survivor Series.
Well, what if Bailey and Becky team together and go after Charlotte and Alexa? Because Charlotte and Alexa are face, Bailey and Becky are heel. Obviously, Becky's got the Intercontinental Championship, so there's an issue there, but we'll figure it out. This is wrestling. Okay. It's okay. So it's all right.
So you're saying then that Becky's essentially going to have to go heel because of the promo we just saw her cut with Kathy Kelly.
Becky's a heel.
No, I'm talking about Bailey.
Bailey's a heel, yeah.
Turn heel. Bailey's going to turn heel. Well, they were trying to make her face there for a little bit, though, were they not?
I think so. I don't know. They don't know what they're doing with him.
But Pete, they never know what to do with Bailey.
Everything is written on a dry erase board. Come on, Rod.
That's true. WWE Unreal. Are we going to review that for the people, Jim? Maybe next time around with SummerSlam?
Well, maybe next time. Yeah, I think we'll have to do that next time when we get a chance to watch it. Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. I think this is going to be a terrific match again. Naomi is someone who might need to step up a little bit. I think Naomi retains. Got to keep it on Naomi.
Give me Io Sky. Give me Io Sky winning the belt back. Give me Io Sky randomly winning the belt back here, keeping her over Rhea, because I think that just is a great way to build yet another banger out of those two at a pay-per-view when we need it. So give me Io here.
Okay. I think it'll be a solid matchup as well. Rod, I don't think we're either going to pick Cena or Rhodes who needs to step up. Who's your person who needs to step up on night 2?
You know, my person who needs to step up on night 2, believe it or not, is Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Becky, you're a sainted Hall of Famer, and you're doing fine as a heel, and you're definitely still getting reactions, but we're getting a little loose in the ring. All right. I understand that, you're taking a little less time. You want to do a little more mom duties and things of that nature. I do not begrudge anyone having a personal life, but Becky, come on. We got to be a little sharper in that ring. I've noticed some botches in her matches here. So I'd like to see Becky have a solid, great Becky Lynch type match and know that she has got it all locked up. So that's mine.
Becky Lynch points to the greatest backslide of all time that she did at the last pay-per-view, but, well, nonetheless. John Cena versus...
That was even a little
botchy. Get out of here. It was beautiful. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. Rod, I think you started this kind of the line where we're going to go, I think, both of us with this. I'll give you your time in the sun here. Who do you got, Cena or Rhodes?
Well, I got Cody winning the match, but I got Cena coming out as everybody's favorite. I think we're getting a big-time double turn here. I sniffed it out a little while back. I think the signs are more and more clear. And my question to you is, Jimmy, when did you finally have to relent and be like, damn it, Rod was right again?
Well, just thinking about how they're going to get Cena to end on a good note, and it's in this match. So when it was a street fight, you know what's going to happen because he can do it in front of everybody. He doesn't have to hide it. He can take that belt and hit him. He can kick him, kick him in the nuts, right? I mean, that's going to happen, and this crowd is going to turn on a dime. I'm probably going to turn on a dime because that's a really good story. I like that a lot. Rhodes' fight has had it. He can't beat him. If you can't beat him, join him. He's going to go heel. And then The Rock comes out, Rod, and goes, see, everything is what I meant for it to happen.
I like that. I like Dwayne coming out. I'm never opposed to Dwayne coming out. The Smashing Machine is getting ready to start to premiere at film festivals here in the fall. So I would imagine that Dwayne is looking to do a little tie-in promotion, being that he's a board member and can pretty much write his own ticket. So I like that there. I'm a little disappointed to hear you as gleeful about the Cody heel turn because you, Jimmy James Jamriska,
That's
was
me.
someone who yelled at me all the time when I was anti-Cody. Oh, he's boring. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. You were the one who was coming on here championing Cody, telling me
Yeah.
that it was an interesting storyline.
It
and now
is.
you're ready to bail on all of it?
No, I think it's a means to an end. You got to turn Cena face, and how do you do that? You turn Cody heel. So I think that's what you do.
So you take your biggest baby face, your hero to all the children that exist
Yep.
right now, and you turn him. After you just kicked everybody in the balls with John Cena, their hero of 25 years, and turned him.
They get their hero back though, Rod.
All right. Listen, I'm for the double turn. I called it out weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to flush it out here for our listeners. Playing good podcaster, Jim.
Yeah, I think that's I think they can do it. I think they can. And then look at all the people that can go against him then. So
do we think that there is a chance that what we are forecasting happens, but maybe the crowd isn't as into it as we think? Do we think there's a chance of that?
they're gonna Cody, Cena, and Triple H are gonna come up with a way that it works. Okay. Because I think so here's my thing, and let me go a little deeper here, Rod. He needs to bloody Cena. Cena needs to be left a pile of nothing in the middle of the ring at the end of this, because people need to see Cena then stand up and walk out or do something. He needs to be just destroyed by Cody. Cody needs to take it 5 steps more than he should. Kind of like with The Rock when he did it to Cody in the back by the ambulance, and hey, we're off. Because I don't care, we're off, and he keeps hitting him. Keep doing it.
Kind of like when The Rock pounded Mankind in the head with the chair 27 times when Mankind's hands were tied behind his back with handcuffs, right? Like kind of like that time. Where
yes, I think Cody needs to hit Cena with the chair 27 times. Yes.
Yeah, that probably won't happen in the new
probably won't happen
world. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I do agree with you that we need to see like just some dastardly behavior out of Cody, right? Because we've seen Cody almost go through with it, right, and then pull back. Right. So we have to have that moment where Cody is going to about do something. And God, please let Corey Graves be on commentary for SummerSlam, because he will be able to help this go along. Right. Because he will be like, no, Cody's going to do it. And Michael Cole's going to be able to be like, no, that's not Cody. And then Cody's going to do it. And Michael Cole's going to absolutely lose his mind. And then Corey Graves is going to be like, see, I told you, Cole, Cody's no better than everybody else. So, yeah, no, I'm all there for it. But I just am worried that maybe we're a little early on it. We're not wrong that Cena's got to turn at some point, but I just wonder if maybe we're a little too excited for it and Triple H is going to pull the rug out from us at SummerSlam.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod.
LA Knight needs to be involved in SummerSlam. This is a travesty, an absolute travesty.
Yeah. Goodbye, Net. Yeah.
Who needs you, Chris?
Come on, buddy. Where are you? Fire alarms. We love you, Chris.
There's no fire.
No. It's not letting me stop the recording. So hi, everybody. Still, we're good.
Corey Nance, thanks for watching.
Yeah, really appreciate it. This is going well. Well, Rod, I'm gonna end it for everybody, and hopefully it'll end. Everybody, we'll see you later. Hopefully it's recorded. Bye.
I was gonna say my internet worked better this time.
Yeah, did a good job
already.